Alright, traders, we'll awake now. We'll awake now. Make sure the torrents are not running in the background. Upload speed's pretty good. Shouldn't be lagging, guys. Although we are getting a couple of drop frames there. Interesting. Alright. Tell me if it's getting better now. I can see a little bit of stuttering actually. What's that about? It's a bit weird. Could be Skype. No, usually it's okay. Australian internet, guys. Australian internet. Tell me if it starts streaming nicely, yeah? I don't want it to break up when we get to the main event. Still got a little bit of time left. Maybe I'm too beautiful for the camera. Alright, so every month that we do this, we always have the same sort of pattern that we like to go through before we get into the nitty-gritty when the numbers come out. So definitely the questions that you have to ask yourself when you're trading a bigger news announcement is, what is the positioning? Yeah, what is the positioning of the market right now? Who is long, who's short? Where are we sitting next to big levels, next to supports? And you know, how do we play it? All right, now, fortunately, I think this month we have a quite easy sort of setup, yeah, a quite easy sort of setup in the sense that some of the pairs that we really like to trade, like the euro, is pretty close to some resistance, and the dollar yen is relatively close to some support. Yeah, so that allows us to play this in a binary sort of fashion, right? So most of the time we just play dollar yen, but you know, after this number, you have to deal with the fact that the euro is in a nice rally, and we've got French elections coming up, which should be positive, and the market is pretty keen to be buying on dips, the euro. So the natural setup, I think, today is, if it's a strong number, buying the euro on the dip. Now, where is the dip in the euro if we're looking at just generally? I mean, it shouldn't get too much below, it shouldn't even get below 109 in the current environment, regardless of how strong it is. And it's a good test for the euro. It's a good test for the euro because if the euro can rally while US data is strong and while chances of the Fed hiking are there, then you know that its sort of ability to rally is sort of untapped right now. You know, I'm in the view that the euro is going to be one of the biggest ralliers this year, and this is on the back of ECB eventually coming around to ending QE. So I'm really interested in seeing what happens on a strong number here. I don't want to see a clean out of 109 stops. I don't want to see a clean out below 108.50. I want to see the market go down towards 109, find support, start to grind higher, and that's when I'm going to be buying. Yeah, because I think next week after the French elections, with Le Pen winning, with Macron winning and Le Pen losing, and markets starting to looking forward, if everything stays the same, the euro is going to be the best performer of the year. Yeah, and this is because ECB is coming out. That's the biggest change in the market from the central bank point of view. Fed might raise 2 more times, might even raise 3 more times. But regardless, it's not really going to affect the change that's coming for the euro, which is at minus 0.7 percent yield towards zero. That's the hugest change. The Fed raising 3 times is a 0.25% change in the short-term yields. The yields going for the from Europe from negative 0.7 to 0 is like a 0.7% change. It's a huge change in terms of basis points, and also just the fact that we're not going lower again, meaning that the bottom's in, and people are trying to front run that. So the euro has this huge ability to rally. It's not really the theme yet, but it definitely can become a theme. And so I'm really interested to see what sort of reaction strong US data has to this euro, and how weak, where the support comes in at. Look, I'm not a total zealot on it, but I want to see it hold above 109. Then I'm happy to buy this dip on strong data, even medium data, right? Mixed but strong, 200k sort of data. 109.30, 109.20. I want to be buying around here. I suspect that we have a substantial rally coming, and I want to be part of that. So how do we play it if it's really weak data? Really weak data allows the euro to keep rallying, probably going to break 110 even today, even with the uncertainty of the election, because it's not really playing to the downside. No. Alright, let me stop and start, boys.
Farm.
Alright guys, let me know what it's like when we get on here, okay? Tell me how it goes, boys. Alright. Well, I hope it's not the charts, because I'm starting to load them up, and we need them pretty much to see clearly what we're doing. But I mean, it's not the worst if we can't use the charts, but it's, you know, it's better. Anyway, so how much of the rant did you get? So the rant is basically this: the Euro USD has been enjoying a solid rally. And what we wanted to see here is how much support it has on the dip after strong data. So we don't want it to go below 109. We want to remain strong and holding above 109. Obviously, it will go down if it's strong data, but we want to see the market still be able to buy the dip after the ECB it did, after a little bit of strong data it did, and it definitely has the ability to, given the long-term fundamentals here, which is the ECB eventually raising rates and the market coming around to that. So, you know, that's sort of an important part of the rally here, because we want to be long next week with after the French elections and the market starting to play this theme. You know, if data is too strong that it can't you know, sort of react, then sorry, that it can't hold 109, and you know, maybe we're a little bit early, okay, on the whole Euro rally. You know, it eventually will be a theme, but it's something later on in the period. Now, if that's the case, then you know, it will break 109, dollar yen will break 113, and we have to sort of wait and be patient for the Euro bulls. I mean, Euro yen will do well, but it's not gonna, you know, it's just not the trade just yet. We'll react to that, right? If it breaks 109, I'll be concerned about buying. If it doesn't, I'll be looking to buy this dip on strong data. That's the play for strong data. With the dollar yen being in a nice little rally for the last couple of days, then you know, we do have a pullback in the last 24 hours. This is on the back of 113 plus a couple of little comments from Kuroda suggesting that perhaps it's not so clear that they're going to remain, you know, near zero for a substantial period of time. That would be a big change. Yeah, but let's not read into that too much. They probably just miscommunicated his Japanese translation there. So yeah, dollar yen's usually the way we play this. So strong data, then dollar yen up. Weak data, your dollar yen down. Now the other trade, apart from playing, you know, euro on some strong data, buying the dip, is that, you know, we can play the Japanese yen on some weak data, because support for the Japanese yen should be very strong underneath 112. 112 to 111.60 would be ideal. So, you know, weak data at this point, because the market is a little bit overbought, a little bit position long, probably is going to lead to a clean out of some of these stops, but it shouldn't really go too much below 111.50. So there's a very high risk reward trade here to be buying on a dip below 112 at 111.80, 111.60. If we can get into some of these trades, I think you're going to make money just in the short term, in the next immediately after the NFP, in the coming hours, right? I think it's going to be a solid risk on rally, and it's pretty easy to place your stop. You know, place your stop at like 111.30 or something in case there's a double move. But there hasn't been a double move in the NFP for a long time. So double moves are where the market gets a bad piece of data, and then it immediately goes lower, then pushes lower, right? Or it gets a strong piece of data, immediately you know, pops higher to 113 and then breaks higher to 113.50. that hasn't been happening for a while, and given where we are positioned here and the push and pull between the euro and the dollar yen, I doubt it's going to happen today. So I'd be actually wary of buying higher if the data comes in strong on the dollar yen, and I'd be much happier to go ahead and buy the euro dollar on a dip after strong data, if that makes sense. That's the way I'll be playing it, and I suspect that we will have a whip no matter what. So I'm actually playing here for the whip, but I'm doing it in a sort of intelligent way, buying the dollar yen sort of dip, which has a high chance of coming back up in just any trade, and buying the euro dip after strong data, if with the chance of the Macron and just general euro buying on dip coming into play here. So that's the two trade plans here. If it's really medium data, like 180k and as expected wage earnings, then it might not be tradable. Yeah, you don't have to trade every NFP, and NFP is definitely not what it used to be in terms of volatility. But you know, we want to set up some trades and get into it. All right, just quickly before the data comes out, let's have a look at some of the previews of it. I think we've got a Barclays preview here. Alright, they expect a headline of 225. That's a big number. That's a big number. That's going to be the, it's not huge, but it's big. That would allow the euro to drop down to that 109.30, 109.20 level that we would like to be buying at. Average earnings is expected to pick up to 0.3. Just generally the market, and the market's at about 190 for its number. Now, in terms of where we're place setter, the ADP, so ADP gave the preview to the market. It came in smack bang as expected. So we really don't have a higher or lower sort of bias here. Now, last month was weak, but that, you know, month before that was really strong. So, you know, you cancel those two out, it's been about 180 the last couple of months. Alright, so we have data coming out in 30 seconds. Let's prepare here. I'll put a little buy limit on the euro, little buy limit. Okay. So I do have some exposure here with the euro and the pound. These are trades that we had previously. The other euro trade we took profit on at that 109.80. Numbers come out. Ooh, must be very close to expectations. Oh god, my Twitter has busted. Okay. We'll get it the old school way from Forex Factory. 212, slightly strong. Immediate reaction is not much. Unemployment rates drop down. Price action suggests we're rallying here. On the euro anyway. We want to wait for a little bit longer. But the fact it didn't go smack bang lower, I don't think we're going to get slow burn. Alright, we haven't come here to muck around, so we'll buy here just because of the price action, no other reason. Strong data, but the market mucking around when it was rallying beforehand suggests we're going to go back to rallying. Definitely be careful buying here, dollar yen. I mean, you might get just a delayed move to 109.80, 112.90, 112.80, but it's pretty dangerous to be trying to pick that the market's going to change direction. So just straight into a buy on euro. Um, I don't know. It's probably going to play the whip to the downside today. So how we play this is I'm going to get in and get out relatively soon. Then look to buy again. So, you know, I just bought the euro on the immediate little reaction there. And look to buy again. Same trade. You can hold it if you want. I've just got two positions, so it's a bit... It's going to be a bit cheeky there, trying to make more than 10 pips from that move. By buying the dip, if it wanted to muck around again. It might just go straight up. Yeah, don't think that I don't think it's going up. I just wanted to buy it again on a little bit shenanigans. I'm already long, so if you're not long, just you probably have to keep holding. Usually I use Twitch. Yeah, Twitch is good. Sorry, not Twitch. Twitter. Twitter is the fastest I find these days. If you don't have a Reuters machine or Bloomberg, I don't have one of those at home. I have them at work, but I don't have it at home. So, yeah, I mean, look, Squawk is fine, but it's still going to be slightly delayed, right? It's just someone yelling at you. The fastest is Reuters. So, yeah, so if you're not in, just remain long. The price action's telling you it wants to go higher, but it's not a really tradable sort of play. The reason is that we're so close to 110, and you know, dollar yen will find support towards 112. I'm just guessing it's going lower. Yeah. So they're playing that game. There's still probably going to be a whip. Yeah, probably going to be some US dollar strength later, but immediately we're going to get some US dollar weakness. If you're not long, get some sort of exposure, I suppose, but it's a bit late now. Should have bought straight away like we did. Should have just held, but yeah. I'll be looking to buy dips, maybe towards 109.60. Relatively untradeable given the lack of reaction, but didn't rock the boat, didn't change the game. So the game goes back to what it was, which is euro higher, dollar yen sort of looking for support. Yeah, leave Aussie alone. Pound might be a test of 130 coming tonight. You know, you always get what you want, right, in a trade. And there's probably going to be a whip. You don't always get what you want from the NFP, so there's probably going to be a whip. But I don't think we can make new lows here on the euro, so the whip would just be a little bit of a pullback. The next leg high. It could be risky to hold. I don't know how risky it is for Le Pen to win. I think it's, 99% not. Just trade with a guaranteed stockbroker if you're going to hold over the weekend. For that 1%, you don't want to be cleaned out, right? So, yeah, I mean, your dollar yen's probably the main thing that's in charge here. So if you're looking for the reversal in the euro, you probably want the dollar yen to go. Euro yen, so strong. Euro yen's a much better way to play long if you wanted to be playing long dollar yen or long yen crosses. But we're talking about a 20-point move here, so let's not you know, go crazy. It's a big effort for dollar yen to break for the euro to break 110 pre-election probably today. It might test it, but I wouldn't be holding around. There'll be a bit of profit taking coming in the next 20 pips, you suspect. Remember, that's where we took our profit on our other trade from way back. So it's unlikely. It's just a natural place to try and take. Stops at 110.10 would be pretty heavy though, so that could attract. But I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, numbers were good, wasn't it? So unnecessary to try and to be buying for that last 30 pip pop. Just go neutral here probably is better. I just want to, because I've got an entry in so far away, I'm okay to hold here. I just I suspect that it's going to wait until Monday to break 110 convincingly. And then we just have to look out for the profit taking. So a lot of traders on the same sort of trade buy the euro because of French elections, and then there'll be profit taking. Now I'm looking actually for the euro to go higher because of the ECB and yields, and that's a different story, right? That's not the story. The market's playing the story. The market's playing the French election story. So there could be a pop on Monday to 110.50, then a pullback, maybe even a little dig below 110. On buy the room and sell the facts sort of flow. Then I'll be looking to buy again on that dip. That'll be the main way of playing on Monday morning. But today, no reason to go crazy here and chase. If you're not in, just sit to the sidelines. Dollar yen, you probably don't want to be playing long until it gets down to 112 as well. Might not get down to your 111.60s given the environment. Hope that makes sense. So far. I could have held that trade. That was just, I was trying to be a bit cheeky, looking for a whip. And if there was a whip, I would have bought more. But given I had two positions, it's okay for me to be in and out with one. I'm going to be holding this one over the weekend. I suspect it's going to be fine. I'll put my stop to entry though. Don't want to get in trouble. That's a guaranteed stop, so it should be fine. So yeah, I don't suspect we've got enough to take 110 here. If we do, stops might be run at 110.10, and then I suspect a little easing for the rest of the session. I doubt we're going to get that clean break higher pre-game here. What is the whip? The whip is in an NFP world, I mean just generally where the market goes the opposite way of what it does initially, and the initial move actually is higher here. I wouldn't count this as a whip. I would count the initial move as the whip, and then later come back down. If it's a sort of really strong number, you get bigger reactions and then a bigger move, and sometimes that can take it all the way down to fresh highs and fresh lows for the day. Then end up going the right way that it initially should. This move here, is a little tiny whip, but not really a whip. It's just straight up showing you that, the buyers on the dip are in control. Now that the sellers on this data, sellers who've sold straight thinking that's strong, are in a little bit of trouble. And that's why it's a bit hard here. On the way down, those guys who are selling are going to provide support. I think the sellers are scared, right? You're looking at this chart right now. Who's scared? Sellers or buyers? Sellers. Buyers, the main reason you're getting out is because of profit taking at 110. Sellers are just worried straight up that this is going, 112. You got to play that game a little bit as well. Dollar yen, the different game. Buyers are a little bit worried. You'll be like, oh Jesus, what's happening here? So who's skittish right now? The buyers are skittish, yeah? Anyway, it is much ado about nothing because it is very small moves. But Jason and Andrew are going to be on. I think, coming next Monday, we're going to be talking a lot about buying the euro. And I know I've been talking about it for 2 weeks, and hopefully some of you have been buying it with me. I really like it. It's one of those trades. I probably like it too much. I'm probably going to get a little bit attached to it, which is a danger as an analyst / trader, right? You really don't want to get too much invested in a trade. But I really suspect it will be a major theme in the second half of the year. And especially leading up to this ECB meeting in June, which is supposed to be a big game changer, right? Where they're going to change the language, change the, give some guidelines, some timelines to when they're getting out of QE and when they're raising rates. That's, if the speculation is that this meeting is going to be that, then you can imagine the lead up, the market will start to buy, right? And then it's up to Draghi to talk the market down at that June meeting, especially if at like 112, 113 by the time middle of June comes along. But that's another story, and that's a bit of a passive story that we can talk about. But you can't deny this, right? Strong NFP, Euro's just off to the races. Alright guys, so yeah, the Andrew and Jason are about to come on, so good luck with them in sort of extracting the next sort of move in the market. Andrew's been on some really good trades. I haven't catched Jason's for a little bit, but Andrew's on some really nice Euro Aussie longs. Getting a little bit overbought in the Euro Aussie, getting towards some big levels, 150-ish. Isn't easy to get past. But Euro Aussie is definitely showing some weakness, isn't it? In the last couple of weeks. So over time, I suspect it's going lower. It's just a little overbought. Sorry, oversold at the time. The Aussie's oversold. The Euro Aussie's overbought. All right, guys. Good luck with your trading. We'll be back on Monday at 19 GMT. We'll go over how I view the French election reaction. To finish up, just repeat what I said before. I suspect that Macron's going to win. We're going to open up Asia above 110. Then profit taking will come in, and then we want to buy that dip if you miss it. So there'll be plenty of opportunities here. This is a really unpositioned market, so it's not long or short. The euro, there's no real trend yet. There's just the reversal of the previous downtrend. So in terms of positioning, the build-up of longs is really hasn't even begun yet. That's just clearing out the shorts. As you can see, we have a lot of rooms to the top side. Alright, good luck guys.